motion to approve the consent agenda?
Make that motion. I'll second.
Mr. Harrington, second by Mr. Walker, to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Under new business, we have election of board officers for this year. I'll now entertain a motion for chairman, and I'd like to nominate Mr. John Walker for chairman.
Second.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations?
Move nomination cease.
Second that. All in favor of ceasing nominations, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Now we have a vote by acclamation for Mr. John Walker as chairman. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carried. I entertain motion for vice chairman now.
Nominate Steve Brown.
Second.
I'll second.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations?
Move nomination cease.
Second that. All in favor of letting the nomination cease for vice chairman, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Have a vote for Mr. Brown for vice chairman. All signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Have a motion to nominate someone for the TLN rep.
Nominate Bobby Harrington.
I don't want it. Any, Bobby Harrington's been nominated second. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations?
Move nomination cease.
Second that. Have a motion and a second to cease nominations for TLN representative. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Under B, Mr. B.
Last month, we recognized, I believe it was 9 teachers for tenure, and they were approved by this board. You have the list in front of you. There were 3 that were left off of last month's list. Mr. Lindsay, Steve Lindsay, former principal of Lexington High School, did an update on the list, submitted it in writing to me, recommended that Ms. Shelby Bowman, Mr. Christopher Ryan Bivens, Ms. Brooke Britt, stand for tenure. I certainly will recommend that. Ms. Shelby Bowman is our basketball coach, and she teaches State Field Credit World History and has, if I'm not mistaken, again this year had the highest success rate in the state for that State Field Credit course. Mr. Ryan Bivens is a golf coach and basketball coach. He teaches business classes. And he's a fine gentleman. Ms. Brooke Britt is an algebra teacher, number 5, I think, even the most recent year. And Mr. Chairman, I don't know if you'll do these one at a time, but I do already.
I hear a motion to approve the additions to the tenure list.
I make a motion to approve. I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Crowder, second. Mr. Walker, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carried.
We'd like to take a moment to give them their certificates. They do have obligations. There's a golf match going on right now, which Mr. Bivens is going to get to. And I think Mr. Britt to a volleyball match. So when I call you up, if you would come. Ms. Brooke Britt. Congratulations. Board for 10 years.
Thank you.
Mr. Ryan Bivens. Ryan Bivens, congratulations on this school board extended tenure to you. Well deserved. Ms. Shelby Bowman. Bowman, congratulations on this school board voting to grant you tenure. Congratulations. Not only are these fine educators, they're fine people, and it's a blessing to have them in the Henderson County School District.
All right, tell us about approval layout program.
The way the state has set this up, anytime AI program is requested to be used in the school, they have to be submitted to the board for approval. These two, I'm not an IT person, but I'll say this, so based on my research and what's given to me, this first one, Elena AI, is a program that assists teachers with lesson plans. I've gone on and looked at it. I've asked for Mr. Thomas, our IT director, to give us the recommendation. This one is basically a teacher tool that our students will not have access to. This will simply be for our teachers to use in lesson plans, curriculum mapping, helping expedite the time. I will say this about AI. It was a big topic of discussion recently at our Superintendent Study Council, how to find ways to use AI effectively to reduce the workload, the planning load on teachers. My understanding from talking with these three teachers that submitted this, Ms. Hannah McMinn, Ms. Nancy Glaze, and Ms. Brittany Crowder, that this will help with lesson plan reduction, curriculum mapping, quiz creation. The second one is Edie, I believe is the way that you say this. Mr. Michael Flesher and Scott Hill submitted this. This is an online worksheet generator that provides teachers with feedback on student performance. This one, the students will use the program, but the AI part of it is used by the teacher to grade their papers and to give them feedback on their performance, reducing the time in which grading papers, etc. would be. So, I mean, you know a whole lot more about IT than I do. I think you might have some concerns, questions.
What kind of guardrails they include in there? I mean, AI can go crazy.
Yeah, it can. That's why the board is asked to approve each one of these. All I can tell you is these two do show up on approved by the American School Superintendents Association as approved. I don't know about the specific guardrails. I'm just going to be honest with you. I do know that these are teacher-driven, teacher success. And it appears AI is here to stay, and if we can somehow tap into using it to reduce the workload on our teachers, I certainly am for it. Those links, I don't know if some of you had the opportunity to go look on it, presentations, quizzes, etc. I have a feeling we're going to deal with this almost every month we have a board meeting. That there are so many AI programs out there that are being produced to help manage workload for teachers that we're going to have to address this pretty often.
Is there any cost associated with it? Per seat fee or anything?
Not these two, no.
I'm not familiar with this, if you aren't whatever that is, but COPPA children online privacy protection, it's approved by them. They're pretty reputable.
They are, Mr. Kemper. That is two of the criteria. They have to be, by state law, they have to be approved by these two organizations.
And I'm gonna go a little further and say, I'm gonna trust Mr. Flesher. He's been recognized as one of the top teachers in the state. If he's submitted this, I'm gonna say it's probably okay.
He not only is an outstanding and highly reputable geometry teacher, he also does their ACT curriculum down there for their 11th graders, and he's going to use this in that pursuit as well for the ACT curriculum. Well, all right, let me say this real quick. I'm trying to explain this myself to the best of my ability, Mr. Kemper, with our IT director at the attendance conference. And if he were here, he could answer this more clearly than me. But I feel comfortable with it based on my conversation with him and my personal experience. It does have to be approved.
We have somebody that's going to monitor all these programs.
Yeah, we have a program. The one Billy Delpas that oversees all of our computer networking, Securely AI, does monitor what takes place inside these programs as well. Securely AI is our approved program for that.
You wanna do it separately or prefer to? That's up to you.
I just want to ask a question first. Do we feel like we know enough about this point to make a decision? Are we comfortable enough to make a decision right now? I mean, personally, I don't know a lot about this. I don't. This is not my expertise. I just want feedback from the board members. If we think we think we're there, fine. But do we need more information?
I'll say this, Mr. Chairman, I don't have a vote, and you can see that I'm kind of struggling to explain this a little bit. I do trust these teachers, but IT is not an AI, it's not an area of expertise.
Me, my opinion.
I make a motion, we table this till next month.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign, motion carries.
Maybe the IT.
Yeah, did we get somebody here to?
I'll make sure he has it.
Is it something new that we can do on the trial basis?
I'll get all those answers.
You try it for, 6 weeks or 9 weeks or something, and see if it's working or not.
And I'll have Mr. Thomas Garner here next time to answer those questions. I respect the board's decision to
But
wait.
it sounds like there's gonna be a lot of these popping up.
Yes. No doubt about it.
Next board meeting will be October the 10th, 6 o'clock. Mr. Beaton, any closing comments?
I do have a few things I want to share about the rector's update, if you'll just set them for maybe. Is there a director's update, please? Or do they already have? Yes. That's all these are. This is not contained in the board packet because it's obviously not part of the agenda. These are my personal comments. I want to talk just a little bit about school enrollment, starting with our virtual academy. We now have 45 students enrolled in the virtual school. Overall, we are up 17 students in the whole district from the last director's update I sent out on September the 6th. We now have 3,912. When I last informed you, we had 3,895. Barberton has gained about 6 students. The rest are pretty much the same, except South Haven gained a few. Lexington High School lost a few, maybe Scotts Hill one. Very small number variance there. The thing I wanted to point out about it is our virtual academy is not affecting our overall enrollment numbers negatively. In other words, by being up 17, we are capturing some of those students that would go to homeschool. For these reasons below: parent choice, avoiding truancy issues, medical necessity, or discipline issues are the 4 main reasons. And if you look at amount of money lost, estimating $8,500 per pupil, right now 24-25 is just $51,000. For last year, $807,500. Each time a student goes to homeschool, we lose that money. So I just wanted to point that out and give you pretty regular enrollment numbers for the Henderson County School District. A couple of things I want to touch on: the baseball building at Scotts Hill. And Megan, if you want to chime in, feel free to do so. We only have one bid submitted that's a bit higher than what we anticipated. Megan, you have anything you want to say about that?
Yes, next steps that need to be taken. I would propose rejecting, I have the authority to reject bids anyways. But I would reject the bids and retry again. If you have more specific parameters you want to use for the building, I can look into some of the laws, but we're afraid that some of the entities that we had originally got quotes from
step would be, if the bids, if you reject that bid, you may have already done that, I'm not sure, but,
I've not done it formally.
okay, is to, look at the specs and see if there's another way to, have it submitted that come closer to the overall, quoting prices. Is what I'm trying to
What's
say.
that for again?
This is the baseball building that we've talked about for some time down at Scottsville High School. Actually, I think we included it in the budget because we knew about this one, some time ago, but, yeah, it's for the baseball building.
Last comment leads me into, what's from an ethical standpoint? And I'm not going to use any names, but there are some companies around here that we could reach out to that don't bid on this type of thing, but are bonded, licensed, and insured. Would it be unethical for us to reach out to one or all of them that we can think of and ask them to submit a bid and come put this bid?
You can, submit the bid, like, you can send them the bid, specs. You're allowed to send it to whoever, I mean, you're allowed to post it wherever, I mean.
Are they required to have a certain amount of insurance and bonded and all that?
If it doesn't go over $100,000, then no, you don't have to have certain one, there's different levels required.
The reason I asked, and this is old news a long time ago, we built a building for football, that's how it's in, and the bid came back pretty high, and before the bid came back, I just reached out to Twin on my own. I mean, it wasn't submitted, I was just kind of wondering what this is gonna cost. And the bid that they proposed was about a third of what it cost us to build the whole building. I guess I kept that to myself, but it never went further, but I think we can get it done cheaper.
Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna work on, trying to find that information. I was waiting on the board office to give me further clarification.
No, that's,
Maybe
I just-
they asked
What we
for-
need to
yeah,
do.
She had asked for us, what to do for the board now.
I just wondered if that would be ethical for us to reach out. Because, I mean, I may have a brother-in-law that lives next door over here, and I said, we can get in this building, you know. I know that's not above board, but I do think we can get it done a lot cheaper than what we did.
Yeah, that's why I was not recommending that we proceed with that bid. Because
Good deal. All right.
we had originally got some quotes on it, and it was much higher than the original quote, so that's why I said we should do that bid.
We reach out directly to some people that we think would cheap.
Submit building permits, yeah, bid.
Because, I mean, it's all completely sealed, closed bids, like, I'm not allowed to see any of that information, but you are allowed to post the bid notice for whoever it's next.
Second thing I want to do is update the Morganton Lagoon. Mr. Ron was here. Our surveyor has pulled the deeds and the easements for Morganton Lagoon. He's got all the necessary documents in his computerized system, and we'll complete that part of the project by the end of next week. At that point, we'll receive an update about the property lines, how they'll be marked, and so forth. It's been a slow process, but we haven't forgotten about it. The LHS and Scottsville stadiums are, for all practical purposes, complete. We're in the process of getting the plaque, commemorative plaque for that occasion. There are security assessments that are underway at all schools. These are very thorough, done by Homeland Security, and involve couple of hundred different items, from locked interior doors to outside access. It's a very detailed assessment that has already been done at South Haven, Scottsdale Elementary, South Side of High School, Westover is next week. And Special Agent Adams is leading those assessments. And school traffic signage, we are working with CDOT engineers and safety coordinators to improve signage around areas, around schools located on state highways. In particular, traffic at Weaver has been a concern, and TDOT is exploring ways to add signage to address traffic speed in that area. Go out there during the morning or the afternoon, pretty much always there is a sheriff patrolman or highway patrolman sitting in the middle. But you got off the interstate, you're doing 70, if you're driving speed limit off the interstate, you head toward Lexington, I can tell you for myself, sometimes it's hard to just put the brakes on just a little bit.
Will Nancy Wilson Drive be included in that, or Westover?
No, unfortunately not, and I'll tell you why, and Mr. Blair, if I get this wrong, if you chime in. Because the official address, this is my understanding, of Westover School is on Crucifer Road instead of the highway. It's not technically under TDOT care. There's some signage and so forth out there. Mr. Blair, who takes care of patrol out there, not
So,
on the parking lot?
anything on the state highways, which is basically 22, 412, east and west, and then State Highway 100. Those are, I have to go through TDOT on those. I've talked with Steve Vineyard several times about it. He's helped us with some signage at some of the other schools. And then our local sheriff's office is the one that's monitoring that speed and those traffic locations. So, Mr. Allen now with the sheriff's office is the one that reached out to me a couple weeks ago. He's the one that got me in touch with TDOT, and we're looking at ways that either the local highway department or the state highway department, being TDOT, can get those signs and caution lights and things like that put up. Two different entities, depending on which road they're located on.
I met with Westover administration multiple times about that one-way access. I know there's been concerns there, and with the SRO Vineyard, Chief Steve, at this point, they're satisfied they're doing what they can there.
Okay.
That random person that turns in quickly, dropping their kids off late is still a concern, but it's almost without getting a possible stop.
Right.
I do want to briefly touch on the incident at Westover on Tuesday and say that as many of you threat of mass violence, I've given a narrative here. I met with Ms. Maynard, Mr. Adam Harrington, SRO Vineyard today, and a teacher representative from the threat assessment team. Debriefed on the situation that took place during the superintendent's conference. I can confirm that the threat assessment procedures were followed. I have a copy with me. It's got sensitive information in it, so I'm not going to share that, of the threat assessment questionnaire, Principal Maynard's narrative of events, and Officer Vineyard's preliminary investigative report. The student has been indefinitely suspended, and a court date is scheduled for September the 25th. I felt confident leaving there today after Mr. Harrington, Ms. Maynard, the teacher and the SRO went through step by step the way they handled that in terms of the threat assessment and dealing with it, they did a very thorough job. But one key takeaway from the incident is the importance of communication with parents and staff. We came up a little short in this area, and a lot of that, I have to be honest with you, is on me and on the platform in which the emails were sent out. We did some research with Aptigee and Synergy today, and not all of those emails found their proper landing point. We found some IT things that kept there from being uniform, and a very uniform announcement of this. I'm very disappointed in that, but we've taken steps to rectify it. Going forward, we're not obligated, and we have to be careful about messaging. Sometimes you can cause panic with insufficient messaging or over sharing, but we do need to make sure that we do a better job with mass communication to ensure clarity and reach going forward. The last thing I have to say, and I have a statement I want to read on this one. Mr. Chairman, on behalf of the board, our schools, and our community, I would like to express my gratitude for your leadership and service during your tenure as chairman. Your guidance has seen our district through times of significant progress, and your commitment to our students and staff has been commendable. In stepping aside tonight, you demonstrate the statesmanship and care that I know you for. Leadership means making difficult decisions. I respect the thoughtfulness with which you approach this transition. We're grateful for your dedication and for the positive steps taken under your leadership. And I look forward to continued progress as we move ahead together. Tommy, thank you.
Can I say one thing? Okay. Thank you, Tommy, for nominating me for chairman. I just finished my second year as a board member. I've learned a lot in the 2 years, and I want to continue learning with Robert's law and chairman classes and things like that. Just to give you guys a little, my wife is that she went to Scotts Hill. She's a Scotts Hill girl. My house is divided. I went to Lexington. My middle daughter went to Scotts Hill. My youngest daughter's at Lexington. So I have stock in both schools, and I look forward to being in a different capacity. The 2 years before I came, there was a lot of I hear a lot of negativity about schools being not taken care of and things like that, and that's passed. The 2 years I've talked to Reese about projects and stuff, and he seems like he's on top of everything. I'm pleased. I know this is not a sprint; it's a marathon, but I see good things happening. I think maybe we can be better communicators about the progress, what we do good and what we do bad, and communicate that out. But I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Well, now, open public comment section.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to do this. We'll put the line. You recognize it? Oh, you've been saying it. In the past week, I've just found this out. I don't know what the boards are, just everything, there's quite a bit of bullying going on in the schools across Henderson County. I'd like to know, do you have a procedure? Is the superintendent handling this? Does the board handle it, or what? It's becoming an issue. I was just made aware of it this week.
Go ahead, Mr. Speaker, to the board.
Mr. Mullin, thank you. On an individual level, bullying is handled by the principal. If it's not handled appropriately by the principal, then it escalates up to my office. Today, we did receive communication to which one of the supervisors is working on right now, from my understanding. I don't know of particular incidents that you might be referring to, but I can assure you, if there is bullying going on, and it's probably been going on since the beginning of time, we need to deal with it. We need to treat it seriously, but I need to know about it to be able to deal with it and treat it seriously. So I would say, Mr. Mountain, if you're aware of some specific incidents of bullying,
I'm not gonna give them that.
if somebody else then that you're familiar with about, that knows of this, please let us know. Tell them to let us know. We'll
I didn't realize what was going on. A friend of mine I went to church with several years ago, he had 3 kids in his school. He moved west over because the oldest girl was being bullied there. He went to Haywood. She was bullied there. They finally moved out of the county, and they went to Savannah. What's the name of the high school?
Hardin County.
Hardin County School. Because they experienced, now that was 9 years.
I tell you,
Now it's come back again. And bullying leads to bad things in school.
yes, it
If
does.
we don't address it, it's going to escalate.
I agree, Mr. Mom. We do have anti-bullying programs. We do have, if you see something, say something programs. I don't like bullies at all. As a former school counselor, I've seen the effects that bullying has on our students. If I'm made aware of it, it will be dealt with, I assure you. Okay? But I can't.
People don't feel comfortable coming to you. What's going on?
They may not. I would hope that they would go to somebody, maybe the school counselor, maybe the principal, maybe a teacher that they trust. But we can't deal with what we don't know about.
that is unacceptable to me.
I agree. But I'm in the dark, I don't know, I don't have all knowledge, I don't know who you're talking about. If you could share that with somebody, it'll be
Well,
good.
my understanding was it's going on in every county school, elementary school. I know it's going on in high school. In 1963, I was a freshman, and that was acceptable thing back then, all freshmen.
Yeah, like Hines or something.
Place for everything.
I was a little guy.
Time and place for
Still not
everything.
really tall. But I was a little guy in high school, probably 11 pounds. I was stuck in a locker in ninth grade. I know what you're talking about, Mr. Miles.
Things like that escalate now, they don't go over.
Yes, I agree.
First step's gotta be being aware. And you tell somebody, if they're not comfortable coming to the beach, they go to somebody else. Or if they're not comfortable with the way the principal handling it, they need to go to somebody else. But as he's stated, we can't fix what we don't know is a problem. And I'm like you, to reiterate what he said, you may not believe it, but I was a little bitty fellow when I graduated, or when I went to ninth grade at high school. And Scott Hill was famous for the initiation, is what it was called. Belt lines. I had to have a friend group, we looked like a bunch of guineas when we went from classes and bathrooms to avoid that. So I know what you're talking about, I lived in fear for a year. So I agree, it's not acceptable, but we can't fix it if somebody don't make us aware of it.
Well, I'm just making you aware that it's going on.
And I'm not trying to get in an argument with you, I'm aware that yes, you're correct, but it's each specific incident, we can't just say, there's bullying going on, where we're gonna fix it. Because we don't know what it is. I mean, we have the policies in place. If that makes sense.
That's what I was wanting to know, was the policies.
Okay,
And
and there
are they being followed? This is the headquarters, are they going down from here to school, or are they saying that happened here, and they're accepting it at the school?
We do have people here that are over the schools in terms of the anti-bullying programs and so forth. Mr. Miles,
My battery is almost
I
dead
would
if we
really
lose
like
this
to
video.
tell you something so we can address it specifically, but there are policies against bullying. There are, and they should be enforced, and if they're not being enforced, and I know about it, I'll see to it they're enforced.
I just want to know if the board, if the superintendent had a policy, what? And the second thing I'd like to address is that the gun and spray field out there. The lady, y'all, all members of the board are familiar with this letter, are you not? You sent it to me.
From Ms. Candy,
Yeah.
the person that did the evaluation inspection. Yeah.
And what needed to be done? Clearing that up. The longer you put it off, the more expensive it is, put that fence there. And the taxpayers are going to foot the bill. I know things move slow, but trees continue to grow. They're gonna have to be moved, new fence there, and one of the things she says, like, be fenced off.
I hope next week, and this month I gave you my cell number, call me, I hope next week we have the survey done, we have it mapped out, and we have the fencing and the clearing that's gotta be done, ready to go.
Who's gonna do this survey?
Mr. Jason Britt,
She gonna get that before he comes out there?
I'm calling you personally before he steps on your
Have
property.
Montrell call me.
Sir?
Get Mr. Montrell to call me. Is that how you?
We'll do
that's
that.
his name?
Yes, sir.
Don Trey, with a D, Don Trey, yes, sir.
We have a good working
You do,
relationship.
he says the same about you, Mr. Miles. I'll tell him. Rich, we'll tell him.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Miles.
Motion to to adjourn, second, motion Mr. Crowder, second by Mr. Tate, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign, motion carries.